So we're joined by my friend, Canton High alum during Canton Homecoming Week,
Yes,
district manager for Waffle House for Vicksburg, Clinton, and Highway 18 in Jackson, Alicia Van Buren. We thank you so much for taking some time for us today. This is our college career readiness class. We're in the hospitality career cluster, and I've got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson, and we're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools, Rosa Scott, Madison Central, Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule for us today.
you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. So before we get into all you do with Waffle House and all you are going to do in the future, just give us a little background. Kenton High School, and you've been in the restaurant industry for a long time.
Yes, I am a graduate of Canton High School. After Canton, I went on to go to Jackson State. So I was still a Tiger then too. I did a long time in the restaurant industry, but I also took a break. I got into security and then I did manufacturing. I worked at Nissan for a brief time and then I went on to be production supervisor at Continental Tires before going back into the restaurant industry. And even then, just wanted to go back and be a server to make some quick money, but they had other plans, and I'm kind of glad they did.
Well, that's great. And one thing that me and you were talking about earlier is that you were not looking to be a server at Waffle House and you were put immediately into management. So, talk about how that worked because Waffle House does a great job. There's all the jokes about Waffle House and some of them are funny. But Waffle House does a great job, and a lot of these other restaurants are kind of falling in line of we want people with restaurant experience. We don't want to just hire somebody that's never worked in a restaurant to be a manager. So, talk a little bit about how that worked.
Okay, so I applied to be a server. Going in as a server or just a regular associate, you didn't need any type of, experience, of course. But they saw my resume and the management experience that I had, and instantly they wanted me to become a manager. So for me, I kind of didn't want to manage people again because I had done it for a while. It's like I kind of want to back up from that. But obviously, they saw something in me that made them want to put me on the management line. So we go through this 3 months of training. They do train you to be a unit manager. You start off with just one store. So they trained us to be managers. It was like five of us came in at one time. And after those 3 months, we went on to our own stores. But if you have a degree, starting off as a unit manager, that's a plus. But most of the time, they just want experience, or if you have even military experience, like we'll accept that. But yeah, it's a great place to work. It's not like what a lot of people see on social media that almost like never happened, especially in our area. But it's an amazing place to work. The people make great money despite what people think. It's a great place to work.
Yeah, and the cool thing, and I have 11 years of restaurant industry myself, and we actually worked together for a short time back at Applebee's, back in at 2010. But one thing that I always stand by, and one thing that I think a lot of people that are hiring any type of employee will agree on is that restaurant industry, even if you don't want to be a long-term restaurant person, because everybody doesn't. If you don't want to work at night, you want to have a family, it can be tough. I get that. But the skills that are learned in hospitality, restaurant, face-to-face customer service, selling, any type of event is
Mm-hmm.
so transferable. It is unbelievable because, and a lot of people don't know this, and I don't talk about this a lot, but I got my first teaching job because the person saw my resume, saw I had restaurant experience. He goes, "Look, you're not going to be scared to talk to people. You have that experience speaking. That's what I want." And
Right.
I never thought about that. So, a lot of our kids that they'll work in the McDonald's, because there's not a lot of places you can work in high school. I get that. But even when you're in college, you went to Jackson State, working in a restaurant while you're in college, in my opinion, and I think in your opinion as well, is very transferable to any field because even if you want to be a marketing person, if you want to be an engineer, being able to speak to customers and being able to speak to clients is extremely transferable from the skills you learn in a restaurant.
Yes, I totally agree. If you can work in a restaurant grid, you can really work anywhere. That's the work ethic and the grit that you get along with the other skills. Like you say, they are transferable. You can go work anywhere. You're able to work in customer service. really anywhere, because it's not just about the customer service, just the skills that you learn there. I was able to leave there and, like I said, go work at Nissan, go work at Continental Tires, with just having Applebee's or Cheddar's on my resume. Um, I prefer someone out of a restaurant, no matter what field I'm in. Those are some of the best working, hardest working people. And you have to, because this is how you make your money. You make your money. It's not given to you, it's actually earned. So when you have to earn something, it tends to make you work a little harder to get those things. But yeah, definitely, if you're going to work in the restaurant industry, I would hire somebody, like I said, no matter what field I'm in. If they have background in restaurant, I would definitely give them a chance.
Yeah, and something you mentioned too is that, and I mentioned this at the beginning. Waffle House is kind of falling in line, and a lot of restaurants are doing this now, where they'll get somebody because we have a lot of kids that say, "Look, I don't want to go to college. I just want to make money." That's fine,
Mhm.
and it can be done. So there are people that work in restaurants that never went to college that make way more money than me,
Right.
because they've learned the business. And we
Mhm.
know, and me and you both know a lot of restaurant managers that have running an entire store, running whole areas that never went to college. They got in and they learned the business. One, like we mentioned, one of our old managers started out as a busboy at 16 years old, learned the restaurant industry, and worked his way up. Because I hear all the time our kids work at these places, and they're bringing a corporate person, and they're training the corporate person on how to do the store operations. Well, because they were brought in from the outside. So this is a business where you get in at 16, 17, 18 years old, you learn it, you're making money the entire time, and you can work your way up. Because I know for a fact Waffle House and a lot of these other restaurants now, they want people that have worked in the company, have
Mhm.
learned the business, know the
Right.
company mission, know the company goals, know how to sell the products of the company, and then before you know it, they're over an entire region.
Right. Yes, you're right about that. So that's one of the many things I love about Waffle House. We promote from within. Now, we may hire on the associate level people who've never worked for Waffle House before, but as far as district and division and area and just all those other positions, we promote from within. And you can kind of appreciate that, because that shows that there's room for growth. There's people actually investing in your growth. Like, that's one thing about, we don't just call ourselves managers, we call ourselves leaders. Being a leader, you have to be able to, you know, grow other leaders. That's what make us great leaders at Waffle House. We're able to foster the growth of other leaders and bring others along with us. So that's, like I said, that's one thing that I love about it. And it kind of, in a sense, it is like us taking care of our people, being loyal to those that have taken care of us. And you can make good money. I mentioned that I went to Jackson State, Greg, but I failed to mention that I did not graduate from Jackson State because I had to, take time off, take care of my mom, and my mom was sick, and so I had to take time off to do that. Life was happening. So I don't have a college degree, but I'm a district manager at Waffle House, making over 100,000 a year. People think people at Waffle House don't make money or you got to have a degree. No, because there are people that I went to college with and even high school with that has bachelor's and master's degree that I don't make half as much as I make. And so it's not all about the degree. If you want it, we're there. We would train you. And there's mentors that hold your hand along the way to make sure that you're successful. If you say, I want to be a district or I want to be a division manager, there are those that are of us that are there to make sure that you get to that place.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing is, and this is something I like, because I've had a job where the district manager will come in and not have a clue, like we said. But there's times where if somebody's out, you go and work in the store just like you're a regular manager,
Right.
and because of that, the associates really respect the fact that you know how to do everything in the store.
Right. Yeah. So the thing that makes Waffle House different from other companies, no matter how high up you go, once you walk into those doors, you have to be productive. So we may have on our black shirts, our white shirts, but when we walk in that door, you will see us on the grill. We are always hands on. It doesn't matter on holidays when majority of the at other companies, the big bosses are at home with their families. Everyone from the associate all the way up to the CEO, we're in those stores. We're the ones doing the cooking. We're the ones working third shift overnight. We're those people. And even sometimes, like I said, it's primarily the unit manager's job to go in if we can't find anyone to staff the stores. But then there are those district managers like myself where we step in and say, hey, you go home and be with your family tonight. I'll step in and I'll do it for you. So yeah, we're very much hands-on. We don't just sit back and let the associates do the work. We're hands-on. We're all one team. And you kind
Yeah,
of earn their respect that way as well.
yeah, and another great thing about a company like this, and this would be in a lot of restaurants, is I have kids all the time say, "Look, I want to get out of Mississippi." A company like Waffle House, you get in, you learn the business, you spend a few years in Jackson or wherever. They're opening Waffle Houses all over the country all the time. They need people to go in and train. They need people to go in and staff, even temporarily, and then they need someone to move there that's with the company to run the store.
Right, right. So when you get hired, actually in the interview process, they ask you if you are transferable. And it don't even have to be years. Once you put it on there and they decide, okay, we're gonna promote this person to district manager or unit manager. If there's another state that is looking for a manager, then we work with that area manager and we would transfer people out all the time. Fortunate for us, we haven't, didn't need anyone to come into our area yet. Um, but yes, if there, as long as you are, and even outside of management, as long as you are an active Waffle House associate and you have a Waffle House shirt, you're free to go work at any of our stores around the world. We have over 2,100 stores now, and we're steady building. We're trying to build 500 a year now within the next few years. So yeah, you can go work at any Waffle House, but we're always looking for managers because we're always growing. We're always opening up new stores, opening up new positions. It's not like people are leaving. No, people are moving up and more stores are growing. So yeah, if Mississippi's not the place where they want to stay forever, that is fine. Even if they want to just go to another store, another state to help out, we have what's called the jump team, where in times like here recent, where we have like natural disasters, we have to send people out to other states, to help out our mates there. So sometimes people go there and get that experience with working in another state, and they decide, hey, I think I want to move here. That's fine. You have that opportunity as well.
Yeah, and then something that I just learned recently, I've had associates at the Waffle Houses around here say, "Look, I work over here these days, and I work over here these days because everything's running exactly the same." So the amount of hours that are possible, if you're willing to work, because this girl told me she was making a ton of money, and I was just like, "Good Lord!" And she said, "I live in between both of them, and I get hours at both of them, and everybody's fine with that." I was like, "That's really cool."
Right. Yes. Like I said, I go back to what I was just saying. As long as you have a Waffle House shirt, you are active associate. You can go work at any store. It's not a transfer. We just borrow associates all the time. One thing that set us apart from a lot of companies, especially since COVID, you go into these stores and they have signs on the stores where they're short staffed, so they can't properly. That won't be the case with Waffle House because we have 25 stores in this area. We borrow from each other's stores if we have to. We're giving associates rides. So if the only thing is stopping people going to work is you need a ride, we'll pick you up. We'll bring you over here as long as you're willing to work. But yeah, you can go work at any Waffle House in this area. I had some people maybe go out of town to Florida, and once they get there, they get a little low on money, but need to make it back home. So they found a Waffle House there. We communicate with the district manager there. They go in if they have shifts available, make some
Wow.
money, and home. So yeah, it's an amazing place. And I love that because where this one particular store may not have enough hours for you, there's 24 others. I have one girl, she works in Brandon, she works in Clinton, and she helps me out of my Vicksburg store. So they're all over places.
I did not know that. That's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to, and this isn't just Waffle House, this is restaurants in general, because, I know as good as anybody, there is money to be made in the restaurant industry
Oh
as
yeah.
far, from Waffle House all the way up to the high dollars, they're all different styles, but there's money to be made.
Right.
And issue in this generation, and I know all the other teachers that'll see this later will agree, is these kids are so eat up with TikTok and looking at all that stuff, and that's fine. There's celebrities I like to follow on social media as well.
Right.
But getting away from that customer service, face-to-face sales skills is just so vital. And it's killing not only the hospitality industry, it's killing a lot of industry. But if
Right.
kids can learn now how to speak and learn how to present and learn how to sell, you can get in with a company like Waffle House. And even if you don't want to stay in restaurants, Waffle House can give you or any other restaurant can give you those skills now to transfer into other fields. So as kids are thinking about what they want to do while they're in college or after they get out of high school, what are some things they can work on to be successful in this field that can either transfer to other fields or move them up within this field?
Okay, so one thing I would say definitely, it does teach you how to communicate with people, how to, and not just adults, but kids as well. You learn how to handle, children or adults who may have special needs. You learn so much by working in the customer service area. You learn how to, like I said, even if you don't want to stay in this area, that's fine. But just your etiquette on jobs, the things you can talk about, you can't talk about. We coach and train on that all the time. A lot of people don't know certain things like politics and religion. You just can't talk about on in the workspace. I, Fortunately, I learned that at church, but was able to learn it more once I got to Waffle House and passing it on to the associates as well. You learn how to. They say it's just a uniform. No, it matters how you dress. With Waffle House, we have an open restaurant. So people, and that's another thing that a lot of restaurants don't have. And so you can benefit from that long term. It matters what you say, it matters how you say it, it matters how you dress and what you're wearing. Some people call my Waffle House all the time the bougie Waffle House, but that's fine. They have to dress a certain way, they have to act a certain way. In the store, we're number one for a reason. It's the customer service, it's the way that they take care of the people. I've had people leave there and then transition into the health field, the healthcare field. I have one girl that's a nurse, one girl that works in PCA, but it teaches you so much about just people. If you want to go on and become a manager, it teaches you how to be a great leader, and you have those that you can look on to, like myself and some of my other my coworkers and colleagues. Like this is how you be a great leader. This is how you take care of people. This is how you take care of your associates. I especially like to mentor a lot of the females because you, especially on social media, you hear now the worst type of managers to work for is a female manager. That don't have to be the case, because if you go into my stores, you'll hear a lot of them saying, I'm the best manager they've ever had. And that's people who's been with the company 18, 19, 20 years say that. So you learn a lot of skills that if you don't get it on this level, you have to start now. It's no such thing as waiting until you get older and putting these things on. No, I see some kids nowadays, they don't even want to iron their clothes, something as small as that. So we teaching you that at Waffle House. That if that uniform is wrinkled, okay, here go another one. It matters how you dress. It matters how you talk to people. It matters how you handle people. You have to have, no matter what field you go in, unless you're going to work in a cave by yourself, you have to know how to. So those things you can't start later in life. You have to start now, really early on. So for the ones that's working like 15, 16 years old, some of those skills they're learning now, they're going to need them once they get older and get into their careers, or just want to be working adults. They're going to need those things now. You can't wait till later.
Yeah, and I'm about to get to the students' questions because I got some good ones. But one thing I noticed, because you mentioned about how you can work in any Waffle House. I was just thinking, last spring break when I was down on the coast, I have never seen more Waffle Houses on a 10-mile stretch on Beach Boulevard than I've ever seen in my life, and
Yeah.
those places are always packed. So I don't
Yes.
even want to know how much money the people working there are making because it's got to be really, really good.
Right. 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 You're right. And most time it's like I said, from being a server before, for the most part, you determine how much money you bring in. So it's different from everybody. You can put 10 people in a high DA store, but those skills that we're talking about, those customer service skills, that it just the sense of urgency, all of that matters. So you can put 10 people in this one store. Everybody's not going to make $500. But if you take on these skills we're trying to teach you now while you're in high school and when you first get into the workforce, then you can be making some of that top money like a lot of service. But yeah, if it's a busy store, more than likely, and for the most part, some of them are making more than managers, if I can be honest with you, Greg. Just as
Yeah,
service.
yeah, but because if you think about, you look at Waffle House, and just off the top of my head, there's a Waffle House across the street from Beau Rivage in Biloxi. A
Mhm.
lot of those other places are closing at 10 o'clock. When those events are getting out at these casinos, these people are flooding into Waffle House. There's one right across from Beau Rivage and then one about a mile down the road.
Yes.
So these two places are packed. So there's a lot of money to be made at some of these places. And, and when you look at great places to work where there's a high traffic, a lot of money, and you're a hustler, I think that would be a great idea.
Right, you're absolutely right. And like I said, for people who maybe they don't want to go into management, we like I said, we have people at Waffle House who've been there 19, 20. It's something that keeps them coming. It's the relationships that they build. It's for like a lot of people, it's the money, of course. It's why we're working to start with. But it's something that's keeping them there. So if you don't want to be a manager or be in leadership, that is also fine because you still that being an hourly associate come with a lot of benefits. You still get a chance to participate in our stock program. So that's something you can save for retirement. You still get a chance to benefit from all the different health and dental benefits that we have. So that's fine if you don't want to be a manager. But with the way that Waffle House is growing and they're just the endless opportunities, it's like, why not?
Absolutely. Well, I do have some questions from the students. I'll get to as many of these as I can. This person's Chloe Luckett. She's in ninth grade, one of our cheerleaders here at Velma Jackson. And
Okay.
she asked, did you ever see yourself liking management like you do now?
Chloe, no, I did not. Like I said, when I applied for Waffle House, I applied to be a server. I was trying to come out of management. But luckily, I was blessed with the most amazing team. My first store in Waffle House was Clinton, and I have an amazing crew from the Clinton store to the Highway 18 store to Vicksburg. And my managers, I have amazing managers that I lead also. Uh, it's the people, the customers. I have some who text me. I'm on vacation now, but they text me, checking on me during my vacation. So the people, the associates, the customers, they are the ones who made me love it. Having a support team like those managers above me, my support team is amazing. So they helped me love managing and leading other people. But I definitely didn't see it coming. I wanted to actually get out of management. But I'm so glad that my AVP saw something in me that made him want to, hey, put me over here.
That's awesome. This is Naomi Smith. She's also in ninth grade, one of our basketball players here. And she
Okay.
asked, what are your future plans for the company? Do you plan on trying to move up?
Yes, I am definitely going to move up. Like Mr. Piggott mentioned, I'm a district manager. I didn't see myself being a district manager at 7 months. I had only been with the company 7 months when they came to me and offered me the position. I turned it down because I personally felt like I wasn't ready. But they kept asking because, again, my AVP saw something in me that I didn't see. Sometimes we're our hardest critic. Um, so I definitely didn't think I would be this far. But as time has gone on, I've gotten asked, about other opportunities. So if I'm going to be here, I might as well just go as far as, I'm meant to go. I might as well.
Well, all I know is you've known me 15 years and you still can't say my last name right because it's definitely Pygott and not Piggott.
What is
You
your
should have
last
you should have heard the reaction when you said Piggott.
name?
It's Pygott, and you've known me for how long and you still can't get it right.
I'm so used to calling you by your first name. I won't mess it up ever again, Mr. Pygott.
I appreciate it. This is Rayshawn Williamson. He's in ninth grade, one of our football players, and he asked, "What's the hardest step you've had to take to get to where you are now?"
The hardest step I had to take, hmm, I would say just really overcoming my own fears and just jumping out there. And I think for a lot of us, we like to stick where we're comfortable at. We would never grow that way. We would never prosper that way. So the hardest thing I had to do was, for one, to trust those that was encouraging me and motivating me, those who saw more in me than I saw in myself, just trusting them and just jumping out there. Because I was, as a unit manager, I kept saying, well, I don't know if I'm ready to be a district, or I don't think I've learned enough. I haven't mastered this spot. But it was all just fear and just comfort. And like so most times that's what's holding us back, just fear and comfort. So that was the hardest thing.
Well, I got time for one more, and this is Zayden Reed. She's in ninth grade, and today is her birthday.
Happy birthday.
But she asked, "What do you find most enjoyable about your job?"
The people, the customers, the associates. I have a heart for people. So definitely the people. I'm definitely in the right space. Hospitality, customer service, Waffle House. it's all about people. One of our mottos is, we take care of our people. We're people's business. It's the people. I love it.
Yeah, and as a former restaurant professional myself, I can tell you, and because everybody who knows me know I'll talk to anybody, and you know that too. So you always get to talk to different people. You get to meet different people. You meet people from all over the world. You meet people from every state you can imagine, and it's amazing. Especially if you're wanting to move into another field, you could build your network.
Yes.
I've actually, and people think, and I'm telling people this all the time. I've met people from working in restaurants that have
Mhm.
spoken in this class because I made that connection when I was working in a restaurant. So it is amazing how useful and beneficial it can be just to build those skills now. Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for taking some time for us, especially on your vacation. I had no idea you were on vacation today. But before we go, a couple things. If anybody's interested in working at Waffle House, how do they apply?
You go to whcareers.com and you choose whether or not you want to be hourly or salary and just pick a location. And I also have some, just in case people are wondering about the salary, not sure if you can see this here or not. But as a restaurant, just single restaurant, you make 55 to 70,000. As a district manager like me, 78 to 108,000. Or for division manager, 105 to 125,000. So there's money to be made, and it's an amazing place to work.
Absolutely. Now, last thing before we go is, and we mentioned this, but again, you know, as kids are moving through high school and they get ready to transition into college or these careers or whatever they decide to do, why is it so important, no matter what field they're in, to master these hospitality customer service skills now to prepare them for that next step?
I think with anything, Mr. Paget, it's best if you're prepared and you get all of those skills and education and just the good common sense on the front end before jumping out there. It can be so much more challenging once you're in it and you're trying to learn it. It's kind of like swimming. If you learn how to swim before you get in the water, then your chances of surviving are better versus just jumping in without a life vest and say, okay, I'm gonna figure it out. It doesn't make sense. So you want to take those, if you want to be successful and save yourself some heartache and just a lot of challenges that come along with trying to learn it after you get there. You just want to get the skills and the good common sense now while it's being freely given. Just put it on and just hit the ground running with it.
Love it. Well, again, we thank the Kenton High Tiger for during Kenton Homecoming Week for joining Velma Jackson today. Um,
Yes.
it, it's a friendly rivalry. Everybody thinks we hate each other. It really is a friendly rivalry. So we're really glad to have you. But again, we thank you so much for taking some time on your vacation to join us. Alicia Van Buren, the district manager, not the regional yet. It's coming. The district manager of the three Waffle House locations. So again, we thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, talk to you soon, buddy.
Talk to you.
See you.